This video we're going to look at Florida State, LSU. First game of the season for both these teams, so a lot of crazy stuff happening. You're going to look at a lot of different plays and see what in the world's going on with that game, because there's some crazy stuff going on. A lot of first game jitters, a lot of first game mistakes, and we'll kind of break those down. And the way I'm going to do it is I'm just going to go straight through the game, and I've got different plays that I got picked out. So from the first play of the game all the way to the end, we're just going to go in order and talk through a few things, see where there might be some miscues, see where the miscommunication might be, and how both these teams are obviously going to go back and continue to get better, because I think both teams are pretty solid football teams that played a pretty ugly game. But whenever you're playing with that much effort, that much intensity in the very first game, a lot of times there are going to be some mistakes. And I think that's what happened for Florida State and LSU. Both teams will obviously get quite a bit better, but we'll dive right into it. The very first play that we're looking at right here is a field goal, and obviously somewhat foreshadowing of the end of the game, but right here just kind of a few things I kind of want to talk about. Right here you can see that being on the right hash, this ball is actually going to travel. It's going through the upright. It's going to travel over the guard, possibly the tackle right here, so they brought an extra guy over. So good job here by LSU, understanding the details, understanding the dynamics of it, and they're getting an extra big body over here to this side to make this edge a little bit wider to that side. But as you're looking at it, notice that this A gap is free right here. Keep that in mind as we look at more of these field goals. But right here, as you see, it's played, extremely heavy rush right there on the tight end. Getting a lot of movement, and for some reason, this guy's moving his feet, all that, more than anybody up there. He moves that foot, and he actually moves his outside foot, and then he's reaching outside. He's not even really leaving anything inside other than his body and his hip. And right there, he's reaching outside. You can see there's a big lane right there. If they can blow that guy up, create a little bit more space, they may be able to slip in there. But right here, open A gap, they brought a guy over, and right here, that edge was long enough that they're able to get that kick off and get this thing in for the first 3 points of the season. This play right here is a pretty good aggressive call by Mike Norvell. Right here, they're running outside zone into the boundary. Here you got two receivers. You got one, he steps and he comes in reverse. He's kind of pacing himself and then he goes to the post. He's trying to take 2 for 1 over here, tossing it back to the quarterback as he's sitting back. But right there you can see outside zone. These guys are zoning. Left tackle should be basing right there. It's kind of a weird look. Obviously getting a blitz. The protection is not exactly what they're hoping for. You actually have a free player right here, which is not ideal. There's the reverse, tossing it back to the quarterback, and we'll roll it back. You can see what this receiver does. Kind of a weird alignment here by LSU. He's actually rolling that direction, so they're leaving basically 2-on-1 there low. For some reason, he's rolling away. Outside zone right there. Reverse. This guy's sitting flat-footed. You can see his eyes, even though he rolled, his eyes in the backfield, and now he's stepping up. Once that reverse hits his hands, that quarterback knows, hey, I got to get this ball out, because there's not a ton more room out there for that ball to be in the air before he gets out of the end zone. So right there, catches it, steps up quickly, drills it, and does a good job of leaving him where his player can make a play. He doesn't throw him through the back of the end zone or throw him to the back of the end zone where he could go out of bounds. He just gives this guy a chance. He knows his back's turned right there. Give your guy a chance, and he might just either get a PI or fight through and make the play, which is what he does right there, and they get the PI flag right there. So right here, aggressive call. If you're watching the game and you heard Booger say this was the right call, I think that's probably a bit much. It was an aggressive call. I don't think that there's ever been a time where somebody on the exam for calling plays said the reverse flea flicker is the only and the right call for this play. So I know Booger's had an extensive play calling experience there, being a good D lineman there at LSU, but I wouldn't say this was the right call, but it worked out right there for FSU, created a big explosive play. Hate to keep doing this to LSU fans, but again, field goal right here. They know that the ball's going to travel right there, so they get their guard over, or whoever it is they bring over their big body. Ball snapped. You can see no A-gap pressure here again on this one, so it's almost like some of them are blocking back outside. Right here on this one, you can see this tackle or tight end right here, and you got your extra tight end over here as well. He blocks out, he blocks down. All he's got is an arm. You'll see that right here, this left tight end right there. You just got an arm in that gap, and this extra guy is blocking out. So there's a gap right there for the guy to run through. Gets through, gets big, both hands together, able to get enough of it, knocks that thing off, and that thing ends up being a blocked field goal. So this one slips through that between the extra guy over there on the edge, tight end right there, so they're able to get in there and is able to just get enough of that kick so that it's no good right there. Blocked field goal there early in the game. I want to put this one here because it's a pretty interesting call. Anytime you get any kind of boot or any kind of play action off of GT, I really like to see it. So right here again, they're going to fake GT that direction. Running back's faking right there, and they're booting out here. They have their fullback here. He's actually going to help seal. Right as you can see, LSU's in one high look. Looks like a zone, so they're probably playing a little bit of cover 3. Right there, ball snap. You see these guys pulling. He's releasing, probably coming on that drag. He's going there. He actually inside release is probably going to the corner. He's just running a hitch right there. So fake. There's the pullers, trying to get these guys to step in. Quarterback pulls it. There's the hitch. That ball's already getting out. You can see how quickly he's got to get his shoulders around. Fake. 1, 2, 3. That ball's out. So 3 steps on that boot. That ball's out because he sees that corner playing deep. Right there, there's the drag coming all the way across from that tight end. This corner route from the slot receiver had taken that corner over the top. Good job getting that ball out quickly. Interesting change-up right there. Pulling both guard and tackle. Sealing that with the fullback. And being able to get out there on the edge to create a pretty good play. All right, guys, again, not going to say much about it other than right here you can see there's an open A gap. And right there with an open A gap, maybe they're working out. I don't really know. It doesn't really look like it. It looks like they're working in. But all I know is that doesn't look real good. That guy, that tight end is getting absolutely mollywopped right here. Hops back. Literally, I don't know if he almost gets hit with this ball, but to get dominated like that from that spot, that's really not a good look. That's starting to get one of those things where if you see that as a coach, you might be thinking about putting maybe a different guy there because somebody's getting dominated. They're absolutely pushing him almost back into the holder on this play and the kicker, and that could be an issue later in the game. I don't know. I'm not really a fortune teller or anything, but that doesn't look real positive to me. Interesting look here from Florida State, and obviously this play will come back, and you'll see it later on in the game. They actually have a tight end over here. They've got their extra tackle over here, so they slipped their tackle over. They probably had the fire alarm huddle, quick huddle, broke it. We're in this set, so you basically have a tight end. You got an unbalanced set. You got the bunch over there with the tight end, and they're just having a little quick toss right here, thinking that they're going to outnumber you and be able to get that first down right here on a 3rd and 2, short yards type deal. So right there, quarterback opens to the toss. Just flips it to him right there, puts it right on his chest, makes it easy. You want to put that thing in front so that the running back can catch it as his eyes are right there so he feels comfortable. If you're catching it where my eyes are over here, so now I've got to turn my head and catch it, and I'm still kind of thinking about these guys, maybe somebody's coming free, that's where you're going to have issues. But right here he does a good job, flips it right there. Running back can see through the ball to the line of scrimmage, so it makes it easy on him right there. He just rolls right there with those big bodies. Good job right there creating that edge. Lots of big players right there. You got your extra tackle over, and you got that bunch with the tight end fullback. They do a great job right there being physical and just getting downhill, moving people, and getting that 3rd and 2 right there with about a 7-8 yard gain. Another interesting play here from Florida State, and they're in a bunch over here, tight end fullback over there. And when the ball is snapped, he's downhill, the running back's downhill. You got a puller there with the guard, and you got a puller there with the fullback. And there's a guy coming around right there. Quarterback has his back to this reverse. He fakes, and then he gets his eyes around. Hands right there on the reverse. And what's kind of interesting about this, you're not just running the reverse away from them. They're actually running the reverse to the counter. So right there, these guys are fitting like they're running counters. So right there, you may get guys that are wrong shoulder and all that stuff. And now that fullback rolls out to the outside. You even got that running back getting a block right there. Now they're on the edge and they're rolling. The other thing that really happens right here is you've got this corner right here on this tight receiver playing man. So he just basically runs that guy off. He might even be going to the safety trying to take 2 for 1 right there on that reverse. You can see he's gone. There's the fullback coming all the way around. There's the running back. If they would have known that this would have been like that, the way that it ends up being, they'd probably tell that running back, hey, now we're the extra blocker. Try to get out there in front of that reverse possibly. But right there, he's able to seal a D lineman, and now they're out on the edge rolling to create a big play right there for Florida State on that defense. So right there, interesting that they felt like they were going to get the edge, running counter, reverse to the counter, and that's what ended up happening right there. Maybe you're getting some guys that are wrong shouldering, doing different things like that, and you're able to get the edge on the reverse to the side that you're running that counter, maybe power and all that stuff. Here's a play here that really keeps LSU in the game, and I think it's kind of the shallow sting concept that you've seen Oklahoma and some of those guys run. They have the back there, he leads to the flats, and then this outside receiver, he comes across, he starts working over here. We'll take a look at it. As you see, quarterback catches it, a little bit of a fake coming across, and that back is going to leak out to the flats right there. He's trying to get across, trying to take safety, trying to take backers, whatever. There's the post, trying to take that corner. Everybody's locked on now. This quarter's coverage, they're manned up once they get past that. You can see that backer's running. So now this running back, I'm not sure if he should be going to the flats. He kind of sets it down right there for whatever reason in front of him. I'd say, hey, keep rolling right there, so that opens that up a little bit more. But as you see, once he crosses his face, this linebacker runs instead of trying to zone that thing off. And right here is this cross coming for the shallow sting all the way from the outside receiver spot over here. Quarterback gets in, you can see his eyes go here. As long as everybody is running there vertically, safety corner off, Should be 2-on-1 with his backer right here, and that's what they get. Gives it to him right there. His back is turned here at corner spot. With that ball in stride right there, that receiver's able to turn up and get into the end zone right there for a big touchdown for LSU. Not going to spend a whole lot of time on this. Just talking about one kind of fundamental thing, because I know for sure there's no way I catch a punt ever with these guys running at me. But what happens right here is you can see never gets his elbows together. His elbows stay wide. You got to really tuck those elbows in. First off, the feet are not great either. But right there, the main thing is those elbows stay wide. He doesn't get those things tucked so he can make that catch right there. Obviously, you don't tuck your elbows. There's nothing to stop the football. Doesn't tuck his elbows, doesn't bring them together. So right there, it goes right through his arms. Now, Florida State's got a chance to recover right here, and that's what they end up doing. So here's that same fire alarm. Quick look right here. They've got their extra lineman over here. They've got their bunch. They're trying to toss it here to their guy and just see if they can get big bodies. Like, if they catch this ball, I think they walk in. He's probably splitting right there. If not, he's bouncing outside and outrunning everybody to the end zone. So they probably score right here if they just catch this ball. And one thing that we talked about, obviously we want that thing on our chest in front so that that running back can see through it to the line of scrimmage. Right there, that thing, as you see, that running back is having to turn his head. And just like that, he's wanting to look back there so he can see where he wants to run. So this ball just being off by about a foot, it makes it hard on the running back. Now, obviously, everybody's saying the running back would probably even tell you, I should have caught that ball. Yeah, okay. But I'm a quarterback's coach right there. That's the thing right there. You put that thing here where he can see the ball through to the line of scrimmage, he'll be a lot more apt to catch it as opposed to trying to get his eyes up to see where he's running. Because obviously the number one thing he's want to do is run. But right there, not a perfect pitch. And then obviously not able to come up with it. That ball is loose. Even has one chance to scoop it right there, even fall on it. Can't do it. And right there, LSU recovers. Not only does LSU recovering right here with 1:23, they've got 2 timeouts, all that stuff. They're able to keep both timeouts right there because the clock stops. Even if you just hold on to that ball, fall down, whatever, kick a field goal, now you're up by 2 scores and you're using the LSU timeout, so the ball game's over right there. So right there, really unfortunate there for Florida State. Good job by LSU being opportunistic, and they're able to come with this football. But you can see just the little details right there were a little bit off, and that's kind of what happened right there, and that's what led to that turnover. This is a really big play from this drive right here, and as you can see, Florida State's got 3 safeties. They're man-to-man on all these guys. And they've got one guy right here, which I would assume his job would be to spy with this 3-man rush. Spy. Jaden Daniels is one of the best athletes on the field. You don't want to let that guy get loose with man-to-man where everybody's backs are turned. And right here, this is basically what happens. So these guys are pressing vertical, obviously trying to get a completion with no timeouts, trying to get a completion hopefully out of bounds or somewhere where they can get a first down, stop the clock temporarily. But right here you can see this guy right here that's, I would say, should probably be here working the side to side to spy Jaden Daniels, not allow him to get going vertical. Right here he takes off. He's all the way back at about 10 yards deep as opposed to about 5, which is where I'd probably hope that he'd be. He outruns this D tackle or D lineman. Now he makes this guy miss, who's the spy, runs through an arm tackle, and continues to roll, gets an extra about 10 yards there after that. So this is a really big play right there. Obviously no timeouts right here, and it's getting down under 20 seconds. Good job playing fast. In can't catch him, makes the spy miss, runs through an arm tackle, gets about 10 more yards, gets to about the 30-yard line. He's down, obviously 16 seconds. The downs are not really much of an issue, so we got to spike the ball, no timeouts right here. So they run up, spike the ball, and continue that drive. Right here on this look, I'm not real sure exactly if this is what they were hoping to do or not, but they're getting a chip here. They got a tight end over here. You guys are running verticals, trying to get to the end zone. I'm not sure exactly what's going on. I can't really see it. But really what happens is everybody gets cleared out because everybody's playing back towards the end zone. Once he chips, he starts working across, and that's the tight end right there. Jaden Daniels flips it out of his hands. And right here you can see the space that there is. When he's going vertical, he's chasing. You got all these guys sitting there right at the goal line. He's the only guy there, and right here he's actually playing spy on Jaden Daniels like they probably should. And once he slides, he starts sliding with them. It opens up the space there for that tight end. Flips it to him, puts it on his body. If you're looking right here, maybe you can go vertical right there and score here, but he keeps pressing that thing to the sideline thinking, hey, I got to get out of bounds, all that stuff. Makes the guy miss. Almost slips. Just gets out of bounds right there with about 1 second left on the clock. If he wouldn't have gotten out of bounds, he would have got tackled in the play. With that little time left, I don't think that there's any chance that they get another play off. Right there, just gets out of bounds, stops the clock right there so they can get one more play. All right, right here you get a little bit of emotion back. This is the one that should give him a chance to tie it up or possibly go for 2 to win it. But right here, motions cross, goes over. Trying to tell if it's man or zone right there. To me, it looks like zone the way he's looking in. Looks like they're manned up here, zoned over here. And right here is that ball snapped. He's going to the flats. He's going right there basically for a snag or a pick. Do a good job jumping that. That's where his eyes go. He's looking for the flats, possibly right there at the goal line. Doesn't like it. So now he gets back to the backside. Right here, what we've got backside is you got basically a climb coming across, and he's running basically another climb there to the back of the end zone. So right there, one of the least guarded areas in football is the back of the end zone. Right there, I'm not real sure what this corner is doing. I'm thinking this is man-to-man. The way that they're looking at the guy, he gets absolutely toasted on not just really just any kind of move. He just kind of gives him a little stutter, and he's working right there. He beats him so badly, he didn't even slow him down. Good job here by Daniels seeing it and putting it up high for his guy, knowing that he's got at the back of the end zone right there. Basically throwing it at the goalpost. He goes up, makes a play for him, and comes down with that thing for a big touchdown right there. Boom, 2 feet in, and he's able to make a play. Good job here by Jaden Daniels on his progression. Doesn't like it. Doesn't like the climb. Finds his guy, sees the space, puts it up high for him, and he makes a play. And after the play here, you just got to love the supreme confidence here. Brian Kelly says, hey, we're going for 1. We're going for 1 for sure. Don't really trust the offense. We've had pretty good success here with our field goals. Now, people have been getting mollywopped. We did have 1 blocked earlier, but I feel really confident about this. All right, right here on this one, obviously the ball's in the middle of the field, so they don't bring their guard over or anything like that. But Florida State has been bringing it to the kicking team's left all day. One thing that's a little bit different, this guy's a lot tighter right here on this guard, turned into almost an A-gap rush. So these guys basically going A-gap, and they're getting 2 guys through that gap, 1 guy off the edge. And right here, as you look at it, it looks like these guys are a lot heavier on the inside right here. And this wing basically does the same thing that he'd been doing all game. He'd been sitting there inside and then punching out, and now with everybody stepping inside, there's nobody left for that gap. So I don't know if those guys are trying to overcomplicate it or if it's just one of those schemes or it's one of those things that's just a break down here by this tight end. But right there, that's kind of the interesting thing that I saw is that now there's A-gap pressure. Everybody's stepping in. They're bringing 2 guys through this D-gap, and they're bringing a guy into the A, B, and C. So I'm not sure if that changed up. Maybe they communicated and all that stuff, and everybody down blocked. He should have been inside out a little bit more. Whatever it is, great play here of extending because this thing gets off pretty quick. Boom, ball's down, 1, 2, ball's kicked. Doesn't take that long to get out. 1, 2, 3, he's laying out. 3 steps there from that guy. 1, 2, 3, he's diving through that window. Gets just enough of it. No good right there. Florida State wins. An amazing game. One of those games that was not very clean, not very beautiful, but it's one of those great, fun, just football games to watch. A lot of crazy stuff going on. But let me know if you guys have any other thoughts on maybe this field goal protection or if you think how you think these teams are going to do, because I think both of them are pretty good teams, play extremely hard. LSU made too many mistakes and was right there, had a chance to win it, but weren't able to finish it.